Hello on the Rockers. Deck the halls. We are celebrating the holiday season with a sit-down with Hallmark's plus Finding Mr. Christmas personality. Daxton Bloomquist is here. From Broadway to reality TV to podcasting, we're going to talk about it all. With me, your sassy host with the sassy most. Raise a glass as the drinks begin. It's On the Rocks. Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho.
Life is a banquet, and most poor suckers are starving to death.
I'd like to propose a toast.
This is On the Rocks with Alexander, where I drink with your favorite celebrities as we talk about fashion, entertainment, pop culture, reality TV, and, well, that's about it. So pop a cork, lean back, and raise a glass to On the Rocks.
Fasten your seatbelt. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Lord have mercy, buttons and bows and pantyhose. On the Rocks podcast, the place where we're too glam to give a damn. Things I'm thankful for. Yes, I love the holidays and I love Christmas decorations. Things I'm not thankful for. Sing along Wicked. Unless you've been on Broadway, I do not want to hear you screeching Defying Gravity. Anyway, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at On the Rocks on Air, and on Facebook, On the Rocks Radio Show. Send me an email, book me for a pride, wedding, funeral, quinceañera, bris. I don't care. I'll show up. Info at ontherocksradioshow.com. Send us your comments, your guest requests, and we have your guest questions tonight. The show's presented by Straw Hat Media. You can watch and or listen to our now over 362 episodes for free at ontherocksradioshow.com. You can watch us on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV on the Outlet.tv app, Facebook Watch on GED Magazine and I Love Gay LGBT, streaming with pride on SVTV and on Channel 31 in Boston. Hello, Boston. We proudly tape at UBM Go Studios, your one-stop place for podcasting. All right, let's get the show on the road. For all of those Hallmark fanatics like myself playing holiday movies all day long, I am more than guilty. This season, the channel got into reality TV with their first competition series, Finding Mr. Christmas. 10 men compete in a series of festive challenges that will showcase their acting chops and their holiday spirit. And one of our favorite gays, Mr. Jonathan Bennett, hosts while all these lovable guys compete to become Hallmark's next leading man. It is not your typical reality show. I'm going to say that right up front. There's no backstabbing. There's no name-calling, one-liners. There's no wig-pulling. But there is a lot of heart. And, guys, let's take a look.
In a Hallmark first. Wow. We're putting 10 unknown talents together in one house.
I want to be a Hallmark leading man.
Who are they? That's still top secret. But we can tell you they'll get the star-making chance of a lifetime.
This is not going to be an easy ride.
To compete for a leading role in a Hallmark Christmas movie.
And action.
But winning will take more than good looks.
A Hallmark leading man should have it all.
They'll be tested to show that they embody all the Hallmark magic they need to carry a movie.
Oh, I just want to cry. He winked at me.
He really likes you, Melissa.
Goodness.
Whoa! They'll need plenty of holiday spirit, charm,
But it's not near as hard as I'm falling for you.
and a whole lot of heart.
Oh my God, I love you guys so much.
Because in the end, only one
Unfortunately, you're going home for the holidays.
will become Mr. Christmas.
And representing the queer community on Finding Mr. Christmas, Daxton began his career in theater and went from working on a Disney Cruise Line before making his debut on Broadway with over 1,000 performances in the Book of Mormon for the Broadway run and national tour, playing Elder McKinley. He appeared in the hit series Welcome to Chippendales and has also been seen on Blind Spotting on Stars in 1923 on Paramount. His latest passion is script development, and he's currently working on some on-screen projects. You can watch him on Finding Mr. Christmas, now streaming on Hallmark Plus. You can also check out his new podcast, Blondies Out Loud, with fellow Mr. Christmas cast member Hayden. Please welcome Daxton Bloomquist.
Hello.
You know, if your name was Braxton Bloomquist, you could be a drag queen.
I could.
I mean, it's like two letters away, girl.
Watch out. You know, who knows what'll happen in 2025 after this point.
Or Finding Mr. Christmas season 2.
Or
what if there was a drag challenge?
I would.
Be so funny.
I would. I basically won the drag challenge that we did.
Yes, you kind of did.
I'm the only one that wore makeup, so.
I saw some foundation.
Yeah.
I saw some foundation. Now, we know that Hallmark movies always feature some hunk and some small town. You literally were born in a small town.
Yeah.
Knowing that you went from small town to cities like New York and Los Angeles, you traveled the world. You've been in every one of the 50 states.
Yeah.
How did growing up in a small town kind of prepare you for that? What did you learn most about life from your early childhood?
Well, I love this question. I give a lot of credit to my parents. They just let me kind of explore every opportunity in my small town. So like when you are from a small town, you kind of get you can do everything. So like I could be in the musical, I could play all the sports, I could do whatever I want, and it wasn't very expensive because so I just had a lot of opportunities to try things I liked. When I found something I really loved, which was singing and theater and being creative and weird, my parents were like, all right, go for it. And I had a mentor. I had like a little mentor who had also from a small town that went and did Broadway, and she kind of just guided me through it. And I just was like, you know what, if it worked that way, I'm just going to follow her, and followed her like footsteps and moved to New York. And I had zero clue what I was doing. But I think the niceness, like learning to just like be nice and smile at everybody. And there is an earnestness about small town folks that, sorry, East Coasters, West Coasters, you don't quite get unless you're born in it. And I think that helped my way. I had to learn a lot, but I'm still learning. Well,
I have to say, people we've had on the show from small towns, there's a sincerity there. It's not put upon. And like you said, and I hate to make assumptions, but East Coasters and West Coasters, they play at being nice and being sincere, and it doesn't always come across.
Yeah, I still can't put a finger on it because I've been out of I've been out of Kansas for now over like 10 years, way over 15 years at this point. And I think it's just a point of like, you go into a grocery store, you basically know everybody. You go, like, everyone's just like, you have to be nice, and you can't just like disappear from them. So maybe that's what it is. I still can't figure it out, but it hasn't left me. So it's still in there somewhere. I think I have a little bit harder of a surface, and it takes a little bit more to get to offend me, but we'll see what you do today.
We'll try real hard today.
We'll see what happens.
But I want to talk about a facet of growing up. You were very into sports.
Yeah.
Like, that was a big part of life, and your dad was like a basketball coach.
Big time.
How did you deal with that part of your life, the theater part of your life, where most people assume a boy in theater is,
Yeah.
And then you had your own sexuality that you were coming to terms with.
Yeah.
How did you play that masculine sports guy, small town, with what was happening inside?
Well, I don't think I was masculine at all. But I look back at him, and he probably wasn't that masculine. Younger Daxton. But yeah, I was involved with a lot of the sports bros. And my dad's a basketball coach. I love sports. I'm very competitive. I think that instilled a lot in me. I really love track and field. My dad wanted my brother and I to be big basketball players. I probably would have been his best basketball player. Sorry, brothers, but it didn't fit, and I think part of that was because of my sexuality, and I wasn't feeling as I don't think I felt as comfortable with who I am now, which is interesting because they put me in a house with 9 straight guys, and I had the best time.
Oh, we definitely got a lot of questions about that, and we are definitely going to deep dive into that.
But like, I wish Daxton had the confidence now that he did the confidence I have now as being very proud, very comfortable with who I am. It has nothing to do with my sexuality. I just love who I am at this point. And I wish that was who I was in high school. I think it would have been more successful in the sports realm, but I was very athletic, did all the stuff, like ran track at a state level, could have run in college, just never felt like I fit in, which is interesting. I feel a lot of queer kids have that feeling with especially sports.
Well, and coming from a small town, there's not like the representation. Like, you come to LA, half the people here are, from the queer community. You didn't have that kind of representation. You have that role model. But how did your parents, how were they just so open? We make assumptions about coming out in a small town, especially coming from a sports-minded family. Was there ever a question? Were you nervous coming out?
I think my parents just always knew. Like, that's like, let's be real.
Oh,
I'm just a different. Well, I'm also just a different. I was just a different. I walked to a different beat of drums. No matter whether I was gay or not. I think I just had a different way of viewing life. And it's so funny. I talked to my dad. I was talking to my dad last night, and they just accepted me for letting me be weird. And I want that. Just being a creative my whole life now, I want parents just to realize, like, if your kid is just a little weird, let them be weird. It doesn't mean they're going to be weird forever. Like, I walk down the street.
Even if they are weird forever, like, yay.
Let them, let's celebrate the authentic person that they are, because that's like really fun. And you'd rather have that than some kid that isn't sure what to do and they get involved in things because they don't know what to do. My parents were just like, give it a try. We're here to support you. We're very middle class. Like, they're not handing out money to me. If I'm never going to live on this, like, they would never allow me to like not have anything. But I just feel like my parents are very supportive. I do have a very traditional sports dad, but he's a teacher, and he I think sees all kinds of different kids, and he's very accepting of these different kids. And then my mom is just the goofiest version of like the woman version of me, and I think they just were like, let him do it, just let him figure it out, because there's nothing stopping me. Once I have my idea on something, I'm like, I'm gonna try it. I'm probably if I can't do it, I'm gonna try it. So
well, and how fun for them to be able to watch you on Finding Mr. Christmas. You know, a Hallmark Channel is in every single household growing up. Like, it's just part of family life. And now you're part of that culture. I mean, that must be crazy. And don't you find that our younger generation, I think because of social media and being able to communicate and see representation, they don't give a crap like when you were coming out or even when I was coming out. They don't care as much.
They don't care anymore.
Like, they'll be as weird as they want, and we celebrate that.
I love the Gen Zers. I'm like,
I mean, I can't stand children, but still.
I want like 7 of them, but I love the fact that they just they don't care anymore about what your sexuality is or what, like, everybody's just like celebrating what they want, and I love this fluidity of these kids, and I think let's like be excited about that. In general, just overall, I'm just like, yeah, come on. I love where I see the world going in terms of like acceptance. I know. So
now, when did the acting bug first hit you? Was it like the Christmas pageant and you were Joseph and your amazing, shepherd's outfit, or was it a school play? What was it, something you saw on TV that you're like, that's the life for me?
First of all, I'm loving these questions because I haven't thought about these forever. I don't know. I think I've always just been a performer. You could probably tell my parents I probably came out of the womb screaming.
Where was that sentence going to go, by the way? We're like, Hallmark. I came out of her love basket.
I came out of the Christmas love basket in December. My birthday's next week, so.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
That sucks. So I am a Christmas. But it sucks you have to share your birthday with Jesus.
You know what?
Who's going to get the better gift?
If I'm going to share it with anybody, I guess that's the one to share it with.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess. Yeah. I do share it with Christina Aguilera and Brad Pitt.
I mean, come on. Can you imagine that Christmas party?
Come on. Yeah. We would have so much fun.
Yeah. Jesus would be like rocking out in the corner.
I think Jesus would be okay with Christina and Brad and
Honey,
me.
I think Jesus would be more than fine with it. Anyway.
So whatever that question was, yes.
What was like the first play that you did, though?
The first, I did my middle school, I did a Christmas pageant because every kid has to do a Christmas pageant. So, no, I don't think that's where the bug got me. I did You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown in 6th grade. Uh-oh.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
This is insane. So I did You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown in high school.
Who'd you play?
Charlie Brown.
Okay, I played Linus.
Oh, how cute. My blanket and me. Boom.
Boom. Yeah, great. Yeah.
Then I did it at the Roxy here in Hollywood for a year. They had a family series on Saturday and Sundays. We did 3 shows every Saturday and Sunday, but I did it for a year. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's in my
Come on,
life.
Charlie
Okay,
Brown.
So
it was my first show, yeah. And
what a great show to do, though.
In 6th grade, I beat out all the 7th and 8th graders to get this lead role.
Mm-hmm.
It's so silly to me now. And I was such a high, my ego was real big. Though, I kind of love that ego. I kind of want him back. He just, I'm going to get it.
Maybe some of the guys from Finding Mr. Christmas need to do a concert version of Your Good Man, Charlie Brown.
Honestly, we probably should.
Sure.
None of them can sing, so. Well, one can, Elijah. I'll give him that, but.
I saw the talent show.
Yeah.
Crickets. Okay. No, I'm just teasing.
And then, I'm going to do my little Hallmark smile. There you go.
But after graduating from Wichita State, you headed straight for New York.
Yes, sir.
And we know even, going to college and all that, you're open to different experiences. But heading to New York from small town growing up, what were some of the hardest things to get used to? What took you most by surprise?
I think I was always meant to be in a big city. Hardest thing to get used to probably was just the constant amount of energy. Yeah. So no matter what you do, you're always surrounded by people. Yeah. And I still, even going back to New York now, I still struggle with it. bringing that energy in. Because when you're from the Midwest, you go outside and it's just like, but when you go into New York, you're like, it's like, everybody's all over you.
And you got to keep up with the movement or you're trampled all over.
Yeah. And so it's just learning to get rid of that energy or like have time for myself. And the Central Park was a big savior for me. I would go in there and excuse me. See, that's what you get.
You better finish that sentence real fast, by the way. I would go to Central Park and
burp. No, that was a real burp. Like the small amount of soda water that is in this drink, that was a real burp.
Soda water. We don't do anything light here on the Rock.
Clearly not. No, so Central Park was my like getaway with and I don't know. I just went and I had I did a lot of regional theater, so I knew people, and I think I just was open to the experience and being wild, and not wild for me. I'm not that crazy, but like going out until 3 a.m. was wild for Daxton.
Here's what I was going to ask you. Coming into your own, it's one thing coming out in a small town, and it's one thing being thrust into a big city like L.A., New York. And I know a lot of young people who have just come out. They come to the city.
Yeah.
There's a lot of allure, but there's also good and bad of being surrounded by such LGBTQ culture because there are bad things that you can get into. Also, we're exploring our sexuality, which is a whole different thing.
Yeah, I was very prude when I came to New York.
Which it's hard to be prude in New York because...
Yeah, because everyone's attractive. But I was still figuring out, and it was before, any kind of prep or was a thing, so it was just I was just very
good for you for
being... I was very scared. I was very scared of anything. So I was a very good boy. I was just kind of, my goal was to be on Broadway. So honestly, when I was I'm okay with my sexuality, but I'm not something
focused on.
I was most importantly is I have to get up at 5 a.m. to go sit in line for this audition, and I was in the union, but it was just you have to do.
Your voice has to be in good shape. You can't be hungover. All that kind of stuff.
And I didn't have a balance. I was just strictly I need to be on Broadway. I came all the way from Kansas. I think that's another thing is when you come from the Midwest, it's you have no excuse. I moved out to New York to do what I wanted to do, and I'm by God, I'm not. If I have to go back to Kansas and be people I told you so, it's really hard.
Yeah.
I'm no, I'm not gonna ever let that happen for me. I tell kids if I go and talk to them, I'm if you can do whatever you want to do, but you have to be it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. It's hard. You can be the best in the world and still never book a Broadway show, and it's wild to me.
And we talk about the young generation is very confident, and they're very, they celebrate who they are. But there's also the flip side, and I've seen it. I've seen young people come to the show that book their first, MTV show or CW show or whatever, and they don't know about the hustle. They don't know about even if I don't care how many millions you have followers on social media, that doesn't mean that
you're not hustling.
And that's exactly right.
The hustle's real. The hustle's real. The hustle can kill you. Not actually kill you, but the hustle can.
It
make
weeds
or break
out though
you.
who really wants to be in the business and who wants to be in the business.
There's been multiple times I'm okay, universe. If I'm not supposed to be doing this, give me something else to do. I hate because it's hard. The hustle's hard. No matter how much success you've had, it's only, especially with entertainment just it lasts and then it's done. It lasts and it's done. And if you have to stay on that wave, or if you can't be under the wave, you can't you have to learn to be under the wave, I think, and learn to swim in a way rather than learn to surf, because the surfing part's once you're up on that board and you're it's amazing and it feels amazing, but learning to do that is hard. Finding it's hard.
What's one of the worst jobs you had to take just to make ends meet while you were doing your thing?
Oh God, I've worked at when I first moved to New York, I worked at Starbucks.
That seems like it would be fun though. I mean, I have zero intelligence to keep track of people's orders.
Nothing wrong with the company. It was just tons of people. New York Starbucks, they're the worst.
That must be different.
I would say that was the worst. I got lucky and I started teaching fitness at Equinox, and that kind of paid well, and I learned how to use my time wisely.
And you used to be around hot guys on Finding Mr. Christmas.
Yes, I'm just really good at being around hot people. If there's anything I'm good at, and I should teach a class on it, is being around hot people and how to be confident
I
around.
love how to do that research. But I loved, you did make it to Broadway, but along the way you went on a Disney cruise line.
Where did you find that picture, first of all?
Oh, honey, we do
Where
research.
We
don't just do research.
I don't even know if
we do research.
I don't even know if I could find that picture. Like you had some good ones, but that Hercules, where was it?
I got. Oh, look. Oh, brum, brum,
Where
look at those guns. Boom,
where
boom.
is she? I'm like 25 pounds lighter there. I'm 190 pounds right now. I'm like 175, 170.
Look at those track and field legs, though.
I know. She's
leg up.
I was so tiny. I was like a little twonk. I was 23
that is
years
not
old.
A twonk. I've seen a twonk. They can't even lift up a Starbucks cup of coffee.
Let me live my dreams. Let me live my dreams. Let me live my twonk dreams. I was little. Like, I mean, it looked.
That's little to you?
20. I was 20 pounds lighter. That's crazy. I can't believe you found that picture. It's a good picture. I'm not mad about it. It's just funny.
We got more.
Yeah, I opened that ship.
But speaking of you as Hercules and all that, but like Disney cruise.
Yeah.
My personal hell would have to be on a ship with children, and then Disney. I would jump off. But you were a performer.
Yeah. To be fair, I opened that ship.
Yes, which is a whole different.
I had
experience.
audiences for less than 3 months. We only had audiences. Like we were just there strictly to open it and make sure that the audiences liked the show, and then they're like, bye.
So you don't have to like stay on it.
No, it was an 11-month contract. We spent most of our time off the boat, or if we were on the boat, it was because they were like we were rehearsing. It had nothing.
But did you have to like stick around and be like, okay, now we're on the boat, now we're off the boat? Did they put you up in a hotel? Like
no,
you were back in New York.
So the long story short, you rehearse in Toronto at a very beautiful place, and they give you like
Canada.
They take really, really good care of you. And we were there for double the time they normally have people there. So we were living our best life. And as a 23-year-old at that point, you're just like,
so cushy.
And you've got you're downtown Toronto in like a 1-bedroom, beautiful high rise. Like I don't even think I think they have to share bedrooms now, but we were like,
they do.
Yeah.
I have many friends who are like, it's hell.
And we go to this brand new ship in Germany. So you travel to Germany, and they're building the ship while you're in Germany. So you do all the sea trials. A lot of people don't know.
Sea trial? Oh,
basically,
I'm so dumb. I'm like ABC trial.
No, like where they're like trying to like tip the boat over. Like we'd have to. No, I'm not kidding. Swear to God, we're on the boat while they were doing the trials. Like there's all kinds of trials before like you can actually like be permitted to have people on it. Those ships. I don't want to sound like the Titanic, but they're really unsinkable. Like, or if they do start to sink, there's plenty of ways.
Well,
I love cruising, and I think, but the Disney ship is specific. But
that's a lot of energy.
Yeah, we lived in Germany for like 6 weeks.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was a really cool experience for how young I am. I'm very appreciative of it. I'm still talk to a lot of the people I was in that cast with. We bonded. It was a lot of work.
Cruise people and entertainment cruise people, they stick together.
Yeah, because you're stuck on that ship.
Yeah.
Okay, the ship life sucks. Like, don't get me. If you want to do a ship, I think you should do it young. Some people love it.
Yes.
Some people are lifers.
Put some money in the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like Germany, amazing. Now,
yeah. I got a lot.
Were you a little bit freer in Germany? Like,
no.
You were still like.
I was
just chocolate.
I was
and
a
beer
prude.
free.
I was like a prude until I was like 30. Lord have mercy. Well,
because I've never seen you out and about in West Hollywood. I'm like, how have I not seen you?
Well, I'm surprised.
Well,
because I was filming Finding Mr. Christmas on Hallmark Plus.
I mean, and what an experience. And we got all of your Finding Mr. Christmas questions.
No, I'm kidding. So I was a little prudy until I.
And then 30, you were just like.
Well, yeah. Then I did Broadway, and Broadway was scary and stressful.
All right, let's talk about
like
Broadway.
we can, if we want to work into that.
Let's talk about Broadway. It's every theater actor's dream, obviously, to be on Broadway.
Yeah.
What was the audition process like for that?
I joined so early, so the audition process is much different. So if you're a future wanting to be in Book of Mormon kid, don't listen to me because my process was much different. I had 4 auditions. One was, go back to a year before when I booked the ship. Before I booked the ship, I was in for the original cast, which was cool.
Yeah.
Didn't book it. Now there's reasons why. I was a little young. The original cast was a little older.
Yeah.
Then I went to did the ship, came back, called within like a week. The casting director called me in, and she was like, "Hey, can you come?" Like they called me back in, did the audition.
Must have made an impression. Then.
She literally was like, "I'm so glad you're back," and I was like,
"What do you think it was about you that made that impression?"
You know, there's once again, so the Mormon religion. There's a sweetness to them, and I think it's a Midwest value. Is like there's just a sweetness behind your eyes, even though we can be a little naughty, and I think people just understand that, and I think I just had this like good boy-esque look, which I'm deep down at that moment I was very good boy, and so I think she just was, and I can tap dance, and so I got called in, and 4 auditions later I booked it. It was like real quick right after the ship.
4 auditions, that was still a lot, and as actors, like every audition is like,
I mean,
oh my
I've
God.
done like 11 and haven't gotten it.
Wow,
It's crazy.
that's
I've done
insane.
Yeah, you're telling me. You know how hard that is on that ego?
Yes. I
Just
wasn't
like-
on Finding Mr. Christmas. I wasn't even on Finding Mr. Quinceañera.
Well, we'll find your quinceañera.
Can you imagine me in Finding Mr. Christmas?
I would love
house?
to
I'd be
see.
like,
I would love to see you in Finding Mr. Christmas. Let's bring it on. Bring it on. So Mormon was great. I joined it with most of the original cast.
Yep.
So once again, stressed out for about 6 years of my life, just because then I booked a lead role in it. And then
Tony, you're the worst gay. That's not Book of Mormon. That's Jersey Boys. Oh, Tony is the
good
worst
luck
gay
finding
I've ever seen.
Can you find a picture of me in Book of Mormon?
Yes, actually,
they
we
were
can.
When I was in it. They
yes,
were,
we can. Tony, Mormons have ties
when
and
I
a
was
nameplate.
When I was in it, they were so they're a little lax now on the YouTubes and stuff like that. But when I was in it, nothing.
It was
took
one of the. It
all
was
down.
the top. It was the Hamilton of its time.
Yeah, and so like you know how they do. I always tell this story, and people always laugh at me because it's kind of braggadocious. But
Did you say braggadocious?
Yes, it's just a little braggadocious. You know how they do in Wicked? Speaking of Wicked, I know we talked about Wicked. Speaking of Wicked, have you heard of it?
3 times I've seen it.
Already?
Yeah.
I want to go.
I went to the press viewing and I wasn't able to talk about it. You know, I have the biggest mouth in the industry.
We could spend the whole hour talking about it. I'm obsessed with Wicked. But so you know how
notes.
Wicked, you know they have the Wicked like where they like compare the
yeah.
They would do that for the McKinleys, and they took it down, and it was like my one claim to fame to be like,
bring it
guys,
back.
I know, but I want take it, put it back up, put your favorite McKinleys up. Like,
Do you think there's a movie?
I was
version of
like
Book of
in a
Mormon
top
now
3
in the works.
I hope.
But let's talk about opening night for your Broadway debut.
If I remember it.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. A few minutes before curtain, you're remembering that small boy from Kansas.
Yeah.
To being on Broadway.
Too stressed to think about that. One of the cast members though did tell me, Brian Sears, and I'm gonna get emotional talking about it because like he looked at me and he said, and he's from Kansas. He was from Kansas City, and he's very, very bro-y, straight guy, and older than me. Yeah, Brian, you're older than me. And if he's ever going to hear this, I hope he does. He said to me...
Everybody listens.
Yeah.
Christina's we're doing a Christmas party. Okay.
He told me, he goes, you're going to be really stressed. He goes, find one moment in this show that you can just look out and remember. And
I've heard many people give this advice.
I did. I'm emotional about it because it was like... I took that moment and I won't ever forget it, and it's mine and nobody can take that away from me. I would love to do more Broadway shows, put me in another Broadway show, but that moment will never be taken away from me, and I'm so happy anybody asks about it because it is a really special, it was really, really special, and I'm so glad he told me that. I don't think I would have if he didn't, and if I ever get to do another Broadway show, I would tell a Broadway debut the exact.
If you put it out that yes, you'll be back on Broadway.
Yeah, sure, or I'll win an Oscar. I don't,
Finding Mr. Broadway, Finding Mr. Christmas. We'll add them all.
Put me in a,
yes,
yeah, I would love to do it. Broadway's so fun. It's magical. It's a lot of work. So yeah, tears goodbye.
But this is the kind of emotion that you brought to Finding Mr. Christmas.
Yeah.
And I have to say, it infected the whole cast. Everybody was so real.
They all started crying right after me. Like,
yes. Well, you made Jonathan Bennett cry. And trust me, he's out of steel.
He knows what to do.
But this is what I
he
loved.
knows how to not.
Because people are like, a competition show with guys on Hallmark?
Yeah.
This is what it was about. It was so endearing. And it was mostly about sharing life stories rather than it was about the competition part of it. It was so touching.
It's such an interesting. It was such an interesting format because it felt like RuPaul's Drag Race, but like everyone was nice, and
no, everybody was nice.
I was like,
who's the villain? Nobody was the villain.
No, I'm like, who?
Your retina was the villain.
My retina, literally, my retina was.
We're gonna get to this.
My retina,
oh my God.
My retina villainized everything, but I think also my retina was the opening to allowing the other boys to kind of, my retina gave them some hope.
You know what? I think it was wise at the show. So I'm not giving any big spoiler alerts, but the show early on did a Christmas sweater challenge. And you're like, oh, how fun, ugly sweater, blah, blah, blah. But it was about telling your life story. And we found out more in that one challenge than we did in everybody's intro when they came in the house and all that. It was very real. And I thought it was the smartest way to start this competition.
I loved that challenge. I was so excited about it, and I was very scared about it because being out is one thing, but like telling a camera that you're like.
Okay, let's dive into Finding Mr. Christmas. Because this is part of the questions that we got. We got a lot of questions.
A lot? Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Well, let me buckle up with these.
Pour a little bit more.
Is that okay?
Was reality TV ever on your radar? How did this opportunity come to you?
So there was
a very unique casting call, I would imagine.
Yeah, there's an actor's strike. I don't know if anybody remembers that here in LA. And I had done Welcome to Chippendales. I don't know if we'll ever get to that.
Oh, we have pictures of that too. Tony, I sent you so many pictures of Book of Mormon.
Please show the Welcome to. I missed the Book of.
Welcome to. God,
I missed the Welcome to Chippendales.
There.
Yeah, those are good. I missed the Book of Mormon ones. I got to
Tony,
be.
I uploaded them.
That's okay. I'm just curious what you got. If it was from my
It was
page.
one of the full cast pictures, and then there was one that you're in a scene. Yeah, but I found that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you did. I want to. I mean, not throwing shade. You did some smaller interviews while you were like touring around.
Yeah, I did a lot, but
some of the questions I asked you were terrible. It's like, what you have for dinner?
It's stupid. Yeah. I mean, and it's so weird because they did ask some. Those are. They just ask questions, and you're just like, especially at that. I was young. Again, I was very young when I played Elder McKinley, and I just was so happy that people wanted to interview me. I'm also still really. This is my favorite part about the whole show business of it all is like getting.
And
to
you guys for Finding Mr. Christmas are doing the circuit.
Well,
you're
they
on
are.
The carpets,
we are
you're doing that. Yeah.
None of them know it, but they're all circuit queens now. None of them know it.
Girl,
am I allowed to say that?
If only. But how did the show? I have a few. Yeah. But how did the show come to you, and what was the casting call out for?
So there's a strike, right? Yeah. That the actor strike, and I didn't work for a year, and I was like, oh my God, what am I doing again? What am I doing? This is not.
And people don't realize we have a lot of entertainment people that watch the show. They can share it. It's not just about the year that the strike happened. It caused a yellow and red light for so many other projects. So it was even after that. It wasn't like all of a sudden you're getting called in because now they're figuring out what projects are we going to finish.
And I'm so new to TV. So like I had a big TV show. Yeah, great. It was awesome. I'm on the top of that wave. I'm like, let's keep writing it. But then when everything shut down, it puts everybody back at like, okay, a year away, nothing's happening. So I was reached out via Instagram. And I don't know who sent my information to her, but she was like, "Hey, we have a reality show. Just didn't know if you would be interested." It wasn't about
somebody
Hallmark.
In the cosmos that keeps their eye on you.
And she was like, her eye, get it? She kept one eye on me.
Oh, we're gonna get to that. Spoiler alert. One-eyed Willie.
Not the one-eyed Willie. So she reached out, and I was like, sure, let's do it. I would love to. I think reality shows are fun. I love Traders. I love RuPaul's Drag Race. I love I love what's the where they race across the world? Amazing Race.
Yes.
Survivor. I'm like, I love all this stuff. I was like,
are you a Bravo queen or no? Because you mentioned everything but Bravo.
I only watch Salt Lake.
Okay, but
Housewives.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And we thought once Monica was going to leave that the franchise would go down. This season is on
got wild.
fire.
We could talk a whole hour about that season.
But Mormons
got caught up.
Mormons are cool again, even though they're not really Mormons. But Mormon Wives is the new show too.
Yeah, I didn't like that though.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I thought they were trying too hard.
But what did the casting call say?
It was I can't remember. I can't remember what it said, but it did not mention Hallmark. It was just like a family friendly. It was like a family friendly.
That could have been Candace
network.
Cameron's network.
Yeah, it was a family friendly network. You are just and it's to compete for a prize. That was basically all.
That was it.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, let me I'll do it. I did all the auditions, made it. I got cast in it, and then you don't really find out what it was until you've signed the contract of after you did all the background checks that it was for Hallmark.
Wow.
So we really didn't know it was from Hallmark until probably, I mean, don't quote me on the dates, but probably right until I actually left for the show.
So we have cast members of CBS's The Summit coming on the show in January. They weren't told what they were doing. They were just told to pack heavy clothing. Yeah. Then they drop them off at the bottom of a mountain and say, you have to climb one of the highest mounts. And they're not athletic people. They're just
they're just
people. Yeah.
It wasn't that they're just once you realize it was a competition for Hallmark, you're like, okay, I kind of get it. And then they had all these outfits that they wanted you to bring, and that was really all I knew going into.
I know number one on that outfit list was tight pants for everybody. I'm like, Jesus, how did anybody breathe during that?
Lord, I don't know. They were trying to do me a dirty. They were trying to throw me off. I think that's what they were trying to do. Let's put them all in tight pants and distract the Broadway actor.
Okay. Now, but knowing it was from Hallmark, I was raised by a single parent. My mom and I, every Christmas, everything was Hallmark. The Hallmark channel was always, always playing. We know Hallmark has recently become very inclusive. Trailblazers like Jonathan Bennett have been a big part of that. Being a gay man, knowing it was for Hallmark, which is typically a very conservative network, conservative audience, changing over the last few years.
Yeah.
Did that put a whole bunch of pressure on you?
I felt it a little bit. Not gonna lie, I went back and forth, talking with friends, boyfriend, all the people being like, how am I gonna approach this? Because of course I want to win, but I also want to make sure that my story, make sure that any kid that's watching this that is little feels like they belong.
And a kid watching it with their family.
Yeah.
And this is a family competition series for sure.
Yeah, and I just want them to watch it and be like, oh, he can't there is a queer kid can get along with all the straight kids. It doesn't matter. And I really wanted to show the friendship and the bond that I made with them, but I also wanted to show them that I'm here to be the best one. I'm no longer scared to be who I am. So I'm going to show who I am. I'm going to be as open and proud of who I am. And I think I wanted to go on as a role model for little Daxton, for myself, but also any kid that's watching that just feels a little different. It doesn't mean if they're gay or not. I don't again, sexuality is so fluid. It's just being weird.
But I love that. Because they're I was a sci-fi nerd, growing up, and I didn't find.
I just didn't want to make it about being. I think being gay is very important, but I didn't want to make it about that. I wanted to be okay, I'm going to be perceived a certain way no matter what, no matter me saying this, but I want you to know, I'm going to be really good at everything I do, and I'm going to go for it all out. And these boys have a lot to learn from me, and that was my competition brain going in.
Well, I'm going to say, so I started watching the show because I love Hallmark and I love Jonathan and all that. I was able to interview Jonathan for the cover of this month's GED magazine.
I got to read it. It's so good.
He brought you up during the show. That same week, I ran into Melissa Peterman at the opening of La Cage at Pasadena, and she said it was one of her most favorite projects that she's worked on, and she mentioned you. So that's how I was like, well, we have to get him on the show.
Well, I'm glad you got me on the show.
But that's what your present meant, and to our audience that hasn't seen it, there's a moment, and I'm sure I'm not getting the quote right, but you're like, I'm always concerned with or wanting to be enough.
Yeah.
And you made Jonathan Bennett break down, and he's like, just know you are always enough.
Yeah, that moment
was a huge moment.
That was really special, and there wasn't much editing out of that. With TV, they edit a lot, and they try to, but that was a moment that they kept, and I'm really happy they did. I feel really happy I had that moment, and I got to express that moment because, I've grown up being weird and goofy and loud, but also been very good at keeping the oh, I'm this and I'm that, being this very cookie cutter version of whatever Daxton is or whatever the world wanted me to be. And I think at this moment on camera, I was like, nope, I'm not that anymore. I am gonna be this goofy loud person, and I'm gonna celebrate it. And honestly, it was the most euphoric thing I've ever done. I'm so happy for the show. If I don't get a redemption in season 2, I'm happy I have.
We got that question worded a lot. It's like, because we know Drag Race, if you injure yourself, you're going to come back.
You go back on.
You go back out of the box.
We'll see if I get, if I get that redemption, that my story is much different.
The fans really responded to, and it's not just LGBTQ fans. It's fans really have responded to you.
It's so cool.
And they responded to your friendship with Hayden, too.
Which is real, very special. If there isn't a season 2 or nothing, I built a friendship with not just Hayden, but like there's some really special bonds in that group, which is. I don't know if that happens in reality shows.
No.
Yeah.
They're worrying about how to like get the other one canceled.
And I was really, so those moments are real and genuine, and I wanted to be as real and genuine on the camera because I think the queer community deserves that, and
Hallmark too. Like
a Hallmark.
What we expect.
Well, and I love Jonathan Bennett, and I think he's a very, very big voice for the LGBTQ plus community on Hallmark, but I'm like, there's time for more. Like, there's room for more, and I want to be more for that and everything. I think Jonathan gave me that opportunity to have that voice, and I'm like, oh, it's time. It's time.
And I will tell you, on any other type of show, they would have cut that up.
Yeah. And I'm so glad
they would have shown you crying, and then they would have been like,
let's not show Jonathan crying.
Yeah.
No, Jonathan's such a sweetheart. I think I felt really comfortable being on set with another gay man. So,
but let's talk about your participation, because your bromance with Hayden, and then you just being accepted so much, and the cast refers to you, and we're gonna get to your, but it's showing that we can have relationships, gay and straight, and especially going into the next few years of life here in the U.S. We need that.
It's important, and it was really important to me to show. And I would never show it unauthentically. Like if I didn't feel like I could.
Some gays go on a reality show and they're like, "What's the sassiest meme? What are they gonna cut to? What, you know what I mean?"
And like, how can I be the gay best friend? And there it was just like, no, I actually want to be your friend, and I want to.
But you did become the gay.
I'm literally the
leading man.
They all call me like literally.
Your acting challenge was so good.
Thank you. I'm, no shade to Hallmark, but not Hallmark. No shade to Jonathan and Melissa, but I think my scene was better than Hayden's, and I'll always call him out on it. They just edited him throwing that thing, and I was like, I did some really cute things you could have gotten. You could have gotten me in that scene.
Did you feel the pressure, though, as a gay man? Don't be too gay in an acting scene
100%.
with a woman.
100%.
That has to weigh on you.
It does.
Because we're celebrating actors like Cheyenne Jackson, Matt Bomer, Jonathan Bailey that are being lauded for their straight roles.
Yeah. It's interesting. I felt a lot of pressure. I don't necessarily need to play straight roles. I will, and I like to, and I think I can do them. And
Did you feel the need to butch it up?
Yes, there was a need for me to feel like I needed to do that. Yeah, I'll be honest. Like, I felt like I needed to make sure I broed it out, but also, what is butch and what isn't butch, and like that's now what I question constantly.
We got many comments, not just questions. We got comments, and I hate this term, but just to put it in quick connotations, you're very passable.
Sure, but I mean,
it's not like you came into the Christmas mansion going, "Hey girl, my 10 pieces of luggage."
Run into me in high tops on a Friday night.
Honey,
you don't know how passable I am.
I've never seen you.
It's good because I'm all over the place. Probably. I'm home by midnight.
That's when I come out.
I'm an early girl.
I like daily happy hour.
I'm a happy hour. I love if it's daylight, I'll have a drink, but I want to be in bed by 11 o'clock. Always have.
I want to talk about you coming into the house. I love seeing all the guys enter because we found out a little bit about them.
Yeah.
And when I tell you this cast is so diverse, it's diverse
it's
in
crazy.
terms of ethnic background, sexuality. And even talent. Some people had never acted
Zero.
before.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh, I run this runway. I thought it was very interesting. Some of the people that were very confident about, I'm an actor, I'm
Yeah.
a model, had a little problem.
Well, yeah. First, rule number 1 going to a reality show: never tell that camera what you're really good at.
Right, because when you do it, they'll be surprised.
Never. And rule number 2 is, never. Rule number 2: never tell that camera what you're good at.
Or the other contestants. But what I really loved is you all were so supportive of each other.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: you think, oh my God, that sounds so boring, because our culture is taught to watch reality show that cuts each other down because it's funny.
Yeah.
This was so entertaining and it was so endearing. You watch episode after episode after episode.
It's a binger for sure.
Oh.
I mean, if you haven't watched any of it yet, you could watch it all like in the next 2 days.
Now, when did you feel the need to reveal your sexuality to the rest of the cast?
Wanted to right away.
But so, we got because it's so interesting.
Yeah.
Because we shouldn't have to talk about our sexuality.
Yeah.
But you're with 9 allegedly straight
guys.
men.
Yeah, first of all, I didn't know if anybody was gonna out themselves. Like you never know. Like you never know if they're gonna put a second gay guy in there. Like so, and I had no clue. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it right away. Let's get it out of the way, because
That's such an awkward. Does somebody have to come in the room and be like,
I know, I hate it.
I'm straight and I have one leg.
I hate
nobody
it.
has to do that.
But I knew I had a story and I had a story to tell, and unfortunately, we still have to tell that story.
So how did you do that? Everybody was in the same room and you're just.
I told him at the sweater. What people saw on camera was the first time I told
that
everybody.
was the question. So
Yeah.
they all found out.
So I was really
that must have been difficult working on it, knowing what you were about to do.
Yeah, I was pretty calculated with how I was going to tell everybody. None of them knew I had been on Broadway. None of them knew I had been on TV. I had kept that. I just let them all talk and try to learn all about them. And you don't see
And
that.
you weren't welcome to Chippendales, by the way, which was like.
Yeah, it recurred in that show, and
we saw a lot.
You saw everything on me. So I just kind of like, I've done some TV shows. I've done a Broadway. I've played a lead in a Broadway show. I'm like, I'm just going to like, and then Elijah had his Hamilton stuff. And I was like, well, let's let him have his
that
thing.
That made me nervous because like you said, when you're so open about that, it's like.
You don't.
Okay, you're like, do it.
Well, first of all, if you're going to say you're doing it, then what they did to Elijah was like, sing for us. And I was like, I don't want to sing. I don't want to sing for anybody. I just like, this is what I did. I know what I'm doing. I like.
Give me a full orchestra. And
also just wanted to play like this guy that they didn't know was going to be as competitive as they thought. So I just kind of kept my mouth shut. Just a cute little blonde from Kansas is what I say in the show.
But we know like a Hallmark leading man does that. They don't show off for the camera. They don't. They're hot AF, but they don't show us how hot they are. They're just like.
Yeah, I was just like,
shucks.
I'll tell you eventually. I wanted to like slowly let everybody know what I did throughout each competition. Give me that cranberry. And so like, yeah, so I was just like, okay, I knew when we did the sweater thing, I had to make something LGBT. Like, and if I didn't, that would be a shame on me.
That was a big gamble.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell am I gonna do? And then I ran out of time. I was like, well, I don't know what else to do. I got everything done, so I just put glitter all over my face because none of those boys were gonna do it. Because I just wanted to prove that you don't have to be the hottest if you can bring the vulnerability and the talent.
But what is the hottest?
That's what I'm saying. Like I wanted to put it on. They didn't ask me about my face paint, which it's fine. Maybe next season they will. They didn't ask me about my face paint, but I wanted to be like, it's not about the way my face looks. It's about what I'm giving for energy. We kind of went into the gay stuff, which is fine too. I had a lot of stories. I wanted to focus on one, and whichever one that they were going to ask me about, I wanted to bring up. And I figured the gay thing was going to be the first one. But like, if they did ask me about the face paint, it was to show like, oh, I'm a lot, but also I'm not going to rely on my pretty face to win this competition. I'm going to rely on my talent and my vulnerability.
What I love is that you were in a competition about being a leading Hallmark man. It didn't say leading man in a gay Hallmark film. It was this.
I was ready to win.
Great.
I was ready to win, and they were all in trouble. I knew from day one. I was like, good luck.
All right, so let's talk about what happened.
Okay.
And for our audience that hasn't seen it, you're gonna witness this. were you looking at the guys too much? Like, what happened with your goddamn eye? I love all these athletic, and you're an athletic man too. It's like, oh my god, my bicep blew up, or I don't know any of the sports medical stuff, or my tendon,
I
whatever.
don't freaking know. I just like
Your
I woke up from a nap and the retina detached.
It's from trying to look and not look at the same time.
I don't know what the hell. No, I was a high risk of a retinal detachment. I have been. I got
I don't
late.
even know what that means. Can you just briefly explain?
I still don't even know what it means, and I've had 2 eye surgeries. I basically have had 2. So your retina, you only have like one of them. It doesn't regrow. It doesn't do anything, and they can detach. So I'm very super nearsighted. If you're really nearsighted, go to the eye doctor. Just make sure your eyes are okay. That's my PSA.
Great.
Like, go to the eye doctor. Just get your eyes checked. They can see so many things by just checking your eyes. But I had known
that
I
sounds
was
really big, by the way. Like, we're laughing about it, but it sounds
no. I mean, I have to laugh about it now because it's like part of my life at the moment. But I'm not gonna cry. Like, I can't. I cried already. I can't cry about my retinal detachment.
Why not?
No, I'm kidding. It's a tough.
So many contestants from Finding Mr. Christmas, since you sat every episode, and it just endears us to this cast.
So the retinal detachment. I knew I was at risk. I got LASIK, and
Did it hurt?
No, you don't feel anything.
Oh,
There are signs. So if you are very nearsighted, the signs are you feel like something is in your eye, or it's getting like a black curtain is going down your eye.
Are you dating my ex?
Or you look at 9 muscle men.
I don't know where you're going with that.
Oh. Drink your juice, Shirley. Drink your juice. No, so I woke up from a nap. Eyes were blurry. I did the photo shoot with a blurry eye.
Yeah, we
so
and
that was
photo
real.
Shoot was great. Tony,
my
photo shoot.
My photo shoot was fantastic, and I'm sorry.
These are like calendar worthy.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm sorry.
And then some of the models didn't do so well, by the way.
Yeah, I know, and I'll call them out. I did a great job on that picture. Hayden's might have been a little better than mine, but like that's the only time I'll give him credit.
But he also slowed down the photo shoot. I mean, come on. This says
come on.
Hallmark.
Come on. I
Animal
would buy
shelter
that
for Christmas.
Yes.
No, I mean, how perfect is this though? Like,
yeah.
This is perfect.
I nailed it, and I set that background up. Like, that was all my doing.
And for our audio viewers, you have to watch. But you guys were like thrown into this, and then you didn't even know that there was a dog that was going to be a part of it. And we know dogs don't respond until they feel that you're sincere and safe.
And my dog did everything right. So yeah, they did all this. I set everything up. So like basically you had to go in and you had a blank canvas.
Yep.
Well, I mean, you had that background, which is stunning, and that's real.
Still.
Yeah. So I was like, I nailed it, and I was mad I didn't win that one. I was honestly mad I didn't win the acting
this movie?
challenge.
What would you name this Hallmark movie?
I don't know.
No, do it.
Puppy play.
No,
too much.
Not.
No. Okay. Sorry.
Maybe that should be a challenge. No, I don't.
I love
pup.
The.
This probably should be a challenge for the next season.
Yeah, how to name a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
Laughter and love of the Hallmark.
Warm and fuzzy for the holidays.
I know what's the name of the dog.
This is breaking news. The winner is in a dog movie. I can't say anything more.
Oh, I would name.
Oh, that would be a perfect.
Okay.
Title. Why didn't I do that?
Happy Holidays.
Happy Holidays.
I didn't know if I was allowed to say what the name of the movie was. Okay.
Okay.
I've been out since episode 2, so.
Okay, so let's move on. When you found out that you couldn't compete in the competition, that must have really.
It sucked.
Been upsetting.
It sucked. I felt like I did what I needed to do. You know, like what am I supposed to do? I had to have surgery the next day.
But it's funny because you have a presence for the rest of the show.
Yeah, which is great, right?
Yep.
Thank you, Hallmark, for giving me that presence, or thank you, boys, for keeping my presence in that show. I had to have surgery, so I was really just focused. Like I knew I was trying to keep. I didn't really get to you couldn't keep contact with the boys, but I really wanted to know what was going on. But I mean, I was sitting on my couch, face down, like this, because I cut my stop.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Medically, I was face down because you have to. When you have a retina surgery, you have to keep your face down. And then I had a second retinal surgery, and I keep my face down for literally 2 months of that. And then recovering the eye was red for like 4 months, and it's still a little shout out to O'Hare Dermatology. She puts Botox in my eyelid to lift it up.
Honey, I need Botox in my eyelid. And
Well, go to O'Hare Dermatology.
My eyelid is all over.
But no, so I've got a lot of people, like a good team helping me, but I still have a third surgery. I have oil in my eye.
That has to be like that has to weigh in your mind too, because
Yeah, it sucks. It really.
we joke about it, but it's really serious.
It's a really serious thing. It sucks. I didn't have my health insurance didn't cover the surgery, so I had health insurance. That didn't cover my surgery, so that's been a really big process of just trying to get like financial help and all this and that. That's been really, really, really.
So we
crappy.
need you to come back for season 2.
Yeah, just to like tell to give my PSA on like know your health insurance. Yeah, I want to. I still think I have more to give, and if that is through season 2, that's great. If that's through another outlet, that's great. I just want to be present with people because I do love. I think the biggest thing starting a podcast was I really love being with people, and that's been really important to me.
I can't stand people, but
I know being with people this far away.
In the dark.
In the dark, you can't see.
But watching the show, what challenges do you think you would have nailed? What challenges do you think would have been the biggest obstacles? We're giving quasi spoilers.
No,
we're just talking about
the improv challenge would have nailed 100%.
Yeah, I was
100.
surprised who did well.
I would have killed it. I'm actually
that first improv scene had me in stitches. It was so damn funny.
Yeah,
and then the rest was like. What?
I would have nailed it.
Okay.
Improv would have been so fun. That would have been a dream to do improv with Melissa Peterman. You know how
she's the queen.
She's
been here. She's
do those guys?
But she's been on this.
Do you know those guys? How lucky they are to get to do improv with Melissa Peterman. Like what? So I was really jealous. I think that was an episode I watched. And I was just really jealous because I would have been there. I would have probably done really well at probably the dance one. I'm sure, like that would have been fun.
My thing about the dance is so fun because it's almost like Chicago meets Rockettes meets everything. It wasn't on the beat, and maybe that was just the I was like,
can't speak to that
on the offbeat, and I was like, there's no way.
I'll text Hayden.
Because you're a tap dance. What's your favorite tap dance step?
A wing for sure, or a one-footed wing, or a time step. Love a time step.
You can do a one-footed wing?
Yeah, absolutely. It's
that is very hard to do.
But like I'm like identify.
Step ball change where I can lean back and relax a little bit.
I might identify as a lot of things, but dancer is something I don't. A dancer, I'm a strong mover. That's what I had.
I have to move apartments next week. You can help me move. Okay.
Not that kind of mover.
Okay, we have to close up. We've been talking for so long.
It's okay.
Fighting Mr. Christmas. Can't tell you how many times we got this question.
Yeah.
Fighting Mr. Christmas is about finding the leading man. Who is your leading man? What is love and dating like for you when you're an actor?
Well, I'm taken. And
it's many different ways.
I'm taken, and it's the best relationship I've ever been in. Yeah, he's fantastic.
You don't have to give us specifics.
No.
I don't meet people.
No, I'm taken. No. He's fantastic.
How did you guys meet?
In LA. He lives in New York now, but yeah, I would say
that's the best. Take my boyfriend to the East Coast as many miles away as you can.
I love it. I know. He's fantastic. We met very quickly. We met right before I started fighting Mr. Christmas, and so he went through me with all the surgeries. I think the best thing that happened to me was finding him in 2025 or 2024, and I hope 2025 he stays around.
God, you're a time traveler.
No, he's fantastic, and I hope everyone can have that kind of love. I truly hope everyone can have that.
All right, one of our and honestly, we got so many questions. I'm sorry we didn't.
I can't believe you got so many questions. Like, can we do like a quick fire them down?
We have to go.
Oh.
No, but like the studio has time.
The studio doesn't.
Tony
have
has
time.
things to do. He has to go to Whole Foods and have a salad. I think this question is very, very important, and this was sent to us by an actor. You were in Welcome to Chippendales.
Yes.
We also know the photo shoot. Half the guys took off their shirts.
Yeah.
The sweater challenge people chopped off their sleeves. You have a dual body image thing to deal with. Yeah. Not just as an actor on screen, but also from the gay community. We know we're only as good as our muscles.
Our abs, yeah.
Body. How have you dealt with that, and how have you overcome body issues?
Oh, I have body dysmorphia is real. I have it.
That's why we got so many questions about it.
Yeah, I definitely have body dysmorphia. I had to be on Welcome to Chippendales where I was basically in a thong a lot of the times.
And
then
we all applaud, and you get attention for that.
Yeah, you get attention for it, but it's... I don't want to be like, poor me, I got attention for my body. It's just, the body dysmorphia is you look in the mirror.
I think it's so important for actors to talk about with each other.
You look in the mirror, and I talk about this a lot. Look in the mirror and you're like, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. And you go to the gym, especially in Hollywood or in LA or New York, and everybody's bodies are either
because you're working next to celebrities or porn
people,
stars.
Yeah, or people that are taking some kind of supplement to make them bigger. And if that's your thing, no judgment. Like we all have our vices. It's hard. And then being in this show where it was 10 guys that everybody is very, very fit. I made choices not to take my shirt off. One, just to make a point that I didn't have to win.
I saw that, and
with taking my shirt off. I didn't want to rely on my. I like my body. I love my body. I have the dysmorphia where like I have the things that everybody wants to see. I just didn't. I didn't think it was ready for. We're in episode 2. I wasn't ready to show you that. You didn't need to see it. I have it, and I'm not ready. Like if you want to see it, you can Google me. Like it's not like I'm hiding it. But I was like, I wanted to show that like I didn't need to use my body to win a challenge. I never wanted to. When I walked in there, I was like, and I saw how attractive these guys were. I'm like, I never wanted to use my body to win a challenge. I know my body is good. I know that like I have that body that a lot of people want. Yep. I never wanted to rely on it to win. Not saying that is a way to make it in this business. That's just not the way I want to make it in the business. I just don't want to rely on it. So I chose to always keep my clothes on, and I wanted to make sure I always kept like, and if I would have judged myself more on a picture with my shirt off if they got me at the wrong angle, I was like, I'm not going to stress about that.
But how do you work through that?
You work through it. It's a constant every day. For me, it's constantly every day, just reminding myself that I'm enough.
And I think it's so important that we talk about this.
Yeah, it is. It sucks. It sucks. It's not. I don't think it works for everybody. I think it works for everybody. I don't think one answer works for everybody. So like for me, I'm just like, oh, you're having the muscle dysmorphia moment. Oh, da-da-da-da. Like what in my, and I've talked about it multiple, Hayden and I chat about it a lot, but like what in the mirror do I see that I like about myself right now? If I'm feeling that like, ooh, you're not this, like there's days where I'm like, ooh, you look gross, like that's muscle dysmorphia, and it's not cute and it's not fun, and it's just this person in the back of your head that's just trying to demean you and tell you you're not good enough when you are perfect. And it's just like, tell yourself, you find one good thing, and that one good thing usually generates you into finding 5 million other good things about your day. And then you have more energy at the gym, or you have more, like, there's just better, for me, that's how it works. So it's like, I'm like, oh, my eye's looking really good today. Automatically have better energy, and I want to go to the gym, and I want to see people, and but like when you feel gross, you don't want to be around people, and you don't want, like, so that's my answer. I'm still trying to do with it. Therapy works, sure. Like,
don't we all do with it on a daily basis?
We all do it.
Where we are in that.
I think straight men, gay men, I think men don't talk about it enough.
Here's the thing, even what our idea of the hottest man post a picture, there's going to be some social media person that's going to be like, you're too big, you're too
small, you're
Yeah.
da-da-da. You look gay, you look straight, you look da-da-da, show us more, da-da-da. And then you get the trolls, and you're like, like I didn't mean to want to get into this, but like
but I think it's very important.
Yeah, I posted a video of me like doing a clothes fit thing, just being stupid, and like,
what clothes were you putting on?
Jeans and a t-shirt, and I was like, oh, fit check, and it's so stupid because it's like, it was a very basic outfit, which is funny. But somebody commented,
jeans and a t-shirt are like a fantasy.
Somebody commented on me and was like, where'd the abs go? And I'm like, why is that I knew him, and I was like, why are you asking me where my abs went? Like, that is like, that's toxic behavior. And I'm just like, I'm done. Bye, done with you. I don't need that.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, we have to finish up. Tony, I'm so sorry.
Tony, I apologize. I'm a talker, Tony.
New Year's resolution.
Love more. I know that sounds great. I know that sounds like really cheesy, but just to like really love people more. I know that sounds so cheesy.
But hey, it works. When we hear about Finding Mr. Christmas, we're like, oh my God, it's so cheesy. I tell you, the show is so entertaining.
I just
and it's not cheesy. It's like, thank God this is out there.
I just want to love people more. I just want to like, even if you annoy me, I just want to love you. And it's
Why'd
hard.
you look at me when you said that? No, one of your eyes looked at me.
One, the detachment. Sorry, it was the detachment.
Somebody's annoying me, but I just want to love them.
She's
God,
detached,
so
right?
awful.
She's attached right now, and we're gonna keep her that way.
But I think love is the most important message, and especially as we go into
It's
the
simpler.
next political administration, we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, love. I'm just trying to love people more, even if I don't agree with them. Just be like, okay, yeah, I want to love you, and if that's the cheesy, it's simple. I mean, I'm sure I'll find more reasons to like live, not more reasons to live for 2025, more like 2025 goals. But right now it's like love more and continue this like vulnerability journey that I've been on since Finding Mr. Christmas, which is really wild, but very true. Like,
but here's the thing, even some of the like, and I hate to say like the most masculine straight guys have found their personality, I feel.
I also want to explore that. We didn't talk about it, but I'm gonna throw it in there. Our podcast, I really want to just explore more of my relationship with a straight man and showing the world that this relationship is fun and different and weird, and like let people feel comfortable with the straight man.
And that's what I mean. It's like we should be celebrating this, especially. And it's just weird that everybody's like, "Oh, Hayden has to come out." I saw this comment so many times, and it's just like,
but he's not. He's like the straightest. He's the straightest
one.
Who
cares though? Even
it shouldn't. Yeah, but like him having that relationship and him having the strength to be vulnerable and open with me as a gay man.
Cried about his dog. We all cried because we've all had.
He's the most.
For those of us that have pets, we've all.
I'm sorry to the other two. I love them both, but I'm such a team Hayden. I don't know the outcome, so like he won't tell me, and so I'm like
I love
people think I know
is that we get to see the holiday movie.
Yeah, and people think I know. People think I know the outcome of the finale, and I don't. And I'm so excited. I'm sorry. The other two. I don't want to like give out spoilers. Obviously, I just gave the Hayden one out, but like I'm a team Hayden, and obviously he's my new bestie. And if I got anything from Finding Mr. Christmas was I got a new best friend who I'm creating this like this journey with as
Blondies out loud.
Yeah, yes, and we are.
You need a brunette to come in and mix things up.
We've tried. No brunette ever says yes. Yeah, we try to get brunette.
You literally just looked at me.
We want a brunette perspective, and they never. They're always busy.
We'll do it over happy hour. Anyway, we have to end the show. Thank you so much. Where can people find and follow you?
You can find me on Dax Bloomquist at Instagram, Dax Bloomquist on TikTok.
That's a great name, by the way.
Thank you.
Like,
my parents, it's my real name. Really, my parents are wild. Dax Bloomquist on the socials, Blondies Out Loud on my other socials, Finding Mr. Christmas on that social, Hallmark Plus on that social. I'm on all the socials. So
and you guys have to watch this. It's such a fun holiday show. Have it on
in
the background. Yeah. I'm telling you, gay, straight, everybody's gonna sit and watch this show.
It's addicting. It's binge worthy. It's addicting. It's sweet. It's for
I made my friends watch it during Thanksgiving, and then they went from preparing. The food wasn't even ready because we just sat there watching.
You can't take your eyes off them.
It's fun.
So it's fun watching 10 guys like naturally masculine, like what we're saying, passing guys, whatever that means, but watching them cry and be vulnerable, it's really special. And I will be the first. I'm not the first to tell you, but like everyone's saying, they are actually crying. Those are real tears. It is a weird thing when you're in there. They cultivated this really beautiful place to make you comfortable, to be real and emotional. And here they all are just crying their eyes out. But I think Hayden was the first, but I was the first.
I'd like to be comfortable with all 10 men. Anyway, that's all, folks. Always a grab bag of fun here and On the Rocks. Big thank you to our engineer and station owner, Tony Sweet.
Thank you.
Join us next week. We welcome Emmy-winning writer, Tony-nominated actor, acclaimed director, playwright, and lyricist Kevin Del Aguila is here from Broadway's Some Like It Hot, Frozen, and Peter and the Starcatcher. He's currently here in L.A. with Once Upon a Mattress with Sutton Foster and Anna Gasteyer and Michael Urie. And please like, share, subscribe the show so we can continue bringing it for free your way. Until next time. Also, watch Hallmark Plus's Finding Mr. Christmas.
Do it.
If you drink, stay tipsy. If not, stay healthy, stay sexy.
Cheers.
This has been another episode of On the Rocks. Tweet me and slide into my DMs on Twitter and Instagram at On the Rocks On Air. Find everything On the Rocks for free at ontherocksradioshow.com. Subscribe, like, review, and share. Until next week, stay fabulous.